Hey guys, it's good to have you with us today. Our story today is about Joseph, and Joseph was a really great guy in the Bible, so we're going to learn a little more about him today. He was one of 12 sons to Jacob, and he was Jacob's very favorite son. I don't know about you all, but I have siblings, and my mom and dad treated us the same all the time, so I think it would be challenging to live in a house where a father shows favoritism to one child. But in this situation, he did. Joseph was by far his favorite. And he showed his favoritism to Joseph. And one way he did that was he gave him a special coat. And I've just got a little prompt today, or jacket. Now Joseph's coat was not like this in the sense that it had a lot of colors. It was very bright and colorful. In fact, they called it the coat of many colors. And so Jacob gives this coat to his son Joseph as a sign of his love and affection, but he doesn't give it to his other sons. So his other sons are feeling a little left out, a little angry, and Joseph is a little arrogant with it and kind of rubbing it in their face that their dad is showing favoritism to him. So it's not a good environment for the brothers. So anyhow, Joseph also is a big dreamer, as his brothers call him, and he has these dreams at night when he's sleeping. And in one of the dreams, he and his brothers are in the field and they're gathering up bundles of wheat. And Joseph's bundle of wheat stands up and the brothers' bundles of wheat bow down. So Joseph tells them that means that they are going to bow down to him. He is going to be their boss. Well, that makes them even more angry. So one day they're all out in the fields working, and Jacob keeps Joseph at home with him so he doesn't have to work so hard. That's one of the favoritisms too. So Jacob sends Joseph out into the field to find the brothers. And the brothers see him coming, and I'm like, oh, here comes the dreamer. And they start talking among themselves, and they're angry, and they're like, we just need to get rid of him. And one of the brothers said, I think we ought to kill him. And Reuben, the oldest brother, says, no, said there's a big pit, a big hole in the ground over there. Let's just throw him in there and see what happens. So they wrestle with him, and they take him, they throw him down in this pit, and then they're standing around, and they're talking. They wind up having lunch, and they're just trying to figure out what are they going to do with Joseph. Well, here comes this group of men traveling by. And they're like, hey, why don't we just see if we can sell him as a slave? So that's what they do. They sell him as a slave, and this group takes Joseph off with them. Well, then they realize that they've got to give Jacob an answer. They can't go home without Joseph because Jacob's going to wonder, where's my son? So they take his coat of many colors. They actually kill an animal, and they put his blood all over this coat, and they go home and they tell Jacob, the dad, that Joseph has been killed. And Jacob is just so sad. He just cries and he weeps, and he is so sad. And the brothers just continue with that story. Well, in the meantime, Joseph has been taken to Egypt, and he has been sold to Pharaoh. And he is a great slave. He works hard. He's honest. And because of his working hard and being honest, he is promoted to being over all of the household of Pharaoh. And then he is actually blamed for something that he did not do, and he's put in prison. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm blamed for something I don't do and get punished for it, it doesn't make me very happy. But Joseph just continued to work hard and be his very best at whatever he could do. And while he's in the prison, the guards start talking about dreams they're having, so he interprets their dreams for them. And so at some point in time, one of the guards shares with Pharaoh that this young man who's in prison has the ability to interpret your dreams for you. So he calls for Joseph to be released, and Joseph comes into the Pharaoh's house, and he tells him what his dreams mean. And in this dream, God tells him that they're going to have 7 years of really good times. They're going to have a lot of crops come in, everything's going to be wonderful, and then they're going to have 7 years of really bad time. So Joseph helps them to take advantage of the 7 years where everything's good, and they save and they store up the grains and everything that comes in preparation for that 7 years of not being good. So when that time comes where they're not getting any grain and things are hard, they have all this stuff saved up and they can take care of their people. Well, the people outside of Egypt are all suffering because they didn't store up and they didn't save. So actually Joseph's brothers travel into Egypt, and they go to him and they ask him for food. Well, it's been many years. Joseph has grown up. He's older. They don't recognize him. And Joseph could have very easily turned them away and said, nope, I'm not giving you anything. But he doesn't do that. He allows God to work through him. He forgives them for what they had done. And he recognizes that because of God taking him away from his brothers and sending him into Egypt, he was able to save all those people by providing for food for them during this 7 years of famine where there was nothing. So the basis of our story today is that we need to allow God to work in our lives and understand that things are not always going to be easy and they're not always going to be good. But with God, they are always possible. We can do anything as long as we allow God to work through us. So help us to be a little more like Joseph each day. I hope you've had a good lesson today, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.